Welcome, fellow castigators. I know that my philosophy is usually, I watched it so that you don't have to. But I just couldn't make it through more than 3 episodes of X-Men 97. This show is so offensively dumb I couldn't stand it. First off, the animation is atrocious. The theme song looks okay, but once they start talking, it all falls apart. Just watch how bad the lip sync is in this scene with Jean's clone.
I am Jean Grey, member of the X-Men, one of the first. Fought by your side in countless battles, given my life how many times?
I've seen episodes of Archer that are more professional than this. It doesn't help that the character designs are off, with characters suffering from too much or too little detail. Morph looks like the Greendale human being. Bishop's mullet is gone. Storm has the stupid mohawk previously seen from an alternate future in One Man's Worth. And Rogue and Jean have been stripped of their sexuality. I also think it's funny that they thought that Jubilee didn't look Asian enough, so they made her skin yellower and slanted her eyes more. Marvel isn't beating those racism allegations anytime soon. As far as performances go, they're just as much of a mixed bag as the physical design. The original actors for Storm, Wolverine, Rogue, and Beast return to voice their respective characters, and the guy they have playing Cyclops is pretty solid. However, Magneto, Jean, Morph, Jubilee, and Gambit don't attempt to sound anything like the originals. Jubilee is undoubtedly the worst of these, giving a pain delivery that barely qualifies as acting, and Gambit is probably the least offensive of those who fall short. The tone itself isn't far off, but he seems to be missing the Cajun accent, which just makes it sound weird when he's talking about himself in the third person. They also give the characters strange purposes, such as Storm gets shot with a radiation beam, and instead of dying or getting cancer, she somehow loses her powers and sets off on a side quest to get them back. Rogue exists to be in a relationship with Magneto, who can unexplainably touch her without getting knocked out. Gambit exists to get cucked and die. Jubilee exists to fall in love with Sunspot, who rips off Angel's backstory. Morph in particular has a useless presence, as he says barely anything and works as an endless cameo machine. His character was always created to die or leave the team, which was needful considering Morph's overly super powers. The writers of this show constantly use him as an all-too-convenient way to solve problems. In fact, the writing is generally the weakest aspect of X-Men 97. They think they're very clever to write Magneto as if he's correct, but just about every modern Marvel writer trying to be edgy does that. Besides, we're never given a reason to root for Magneto before he starts preaching to the audience. Their idea of humor isn't very advanced either, with puns like, "fry me a river." To give you an idea of just how painful it is, let me give you an episode recap. The FOH returns with Mega Man arms, which makes Magneto mad, so he goes to recruit the X-Men. Jean refuses to detect if Magneto is being honest for no good reason. Magneto is called to court, where he angers the audience, who becomes rowdy. The X-Men respond by beating up the crowd and causing copious amounts of property damage to the courthouse. Jean goes into labor, and the mutant racist doctor refuses to help. Rogue risks killing the doctor to absorb his knowledge and perform the delivery. Jean is then revealed to be a clone who somehow possesses her powers as well. Jean Clone announces that she's the Goblin Queen now, and snatches Jean's baby. Cyclops goes to Mr. Sinister's lair, and Jean stretches her mind an amazing distance to convince the Goblin Queen to be nice. Bishop takes the baby to the future to cure him of a virus, and Jean Clone, now called Madeline, leaves the mansion without having a threesome with Cyclops and Jean. Poor Cyclops. My point is, these events are stupid and futile. They have no useful effect on the characters or the world. To make it all worse, these stupid events feel incredibly long, as they're presented with characters constantly stating the obvious, as if they assume the audience is never keeping up. The original show had dialogue and drama, but it also had a time limit and an action quota. That meant that they had to show a lot of what was happening, and they had to keep the melodrama to only scenes that are strictly important. However, this continuation drags on and on with its excessive amount of melodrama, and it makes every episode feel a million years long. I felt like banging my head against the wall when watching characters I feel deeply about become whiny, selfish, and overdramatic instead of just flying around punching things and doing cool stuff. One of the things that made the original so special was that it was a simple superhero action cartoon with surprising wisdom and pathos hidden inside. This show has neither enough action or wisdom, just soap opera drama dialogue that takes up most of the screen time. If you've been enjoying X-Men 97, then more power to you. Comment below what you liked about it, but I couldn't stand it. And I can imagine a lot of comic book fans will feel the same way. Thanks for listening. Wolverine, I need you to sniff out who ate my Tostitos pizza rolls.
Don't worry, Professor. If they're around here, I'll find them.
Jean, use your mind powers to detect anyone enjoying pizza rolls.
I can't, Professor. It's too much.
I've got the scent. It's that two-bit scum, Magneto.
Cyclops, I need you and Wolverine to get back what's left of my nummy pizza rolls from my dearest frenemy, Magneto. But what about Jean? How can we help Jean? Jean! 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 Oh no,
Jean!
I seem to be suffering from an unnamed disease.
Jean!
I'm afraid
Jean!
I'm dying.
Jean!
No, you
Jean!
can't, Professor.
Jean!
You were like a brother to me. Or maybe more like a distant father, who's also my boss. I've come to replace Xavier as the leader of the X-Men. Come to take his pizza rolls, more like. I can have all the pizza rolls I like. It says here in Xavier's will. You'll have to come through me first, bub.
No, you can't. I love him all of a sudden, as sure as a cockroach sticks to a glue trap.
I love you too, for some reason.
Hey, that's Gambit's woman. And don't you forget it. I don't believe this. It don't make any cotton-picking sense.
You know, cucking Gambit is what makes me truly evil.
I'm glad you liked it, sugar.
'Cause it was good for me, too.
No. No! Morph, what have you done? I enjoyed it. I can't believe I enjoyed it. I must be
gay. And according to Xavier's will, only a straight white male can lead the X-Men.
No, it can't be. Looks like it ain't your lucky day, punk. I'll be back one day, you cisgender fools. When New York forces the school to take affirmative action, Magneto will be king of the mutants. Thanks, buddy. We couldn't have done it without you.
From this day forth, you will be an honorary heterosexual X-Man.
Yeah, baby. Morph always comes out on top.